your personality and perhaps what is in vogue. Some will say, I don't do fashion. It's not my thing. Let me just be me, right? We have Kijikpa in the studio this morning. He's a serial fashion entrepreneur. He's a designer, he's a creative director and the founder of Kijikpa Couture. Thank you, Kijikpa, for coming on the program again today.
Good morning.
Right, so my coat, I came across that coat. I don't know who the author of that coat is, but I found it fascinating because just like food, we all tend to change our menu.
Oh, yes.
We all tend to, sometimes you just want to eat eba. And sometimes you say, you know what, today I think I just want to let loose and probably just have some piece of salad. Can fashion also be treated in that manner?
Okay, so I'll start with saying that fashion in itself has to do with time, you know, and then because it has to do with time, which is a span, the time creates different kinds of, you know, fashion seasons that will birth different kinds of fashion styles.
Right.
So of course you can have varieties, you know, within fashion itself. And then for style, so style is you. Style is the way you dress, your poise, the way you talk and carry yourself. So if you have like about 7 models, role models in different spheres of, you know, life.
Right.
Creating different kinds of images and style, then you already have 7 options to pick from if you cannot create your personal style. So of course, I mean, it's like you can have a buffet of, you know, different kinds of style expressions within fashion.
Right, and you can combine all of those as the time depicts. I think time is of the essence here. We're picking up time. Okay, Buku?
Okay, so as we say time, so also the people say, oh, you're not dressing your age, you're not dressing. So must one stick to maybe the dress sense for an age? Is there really a dress sense for people's age ranges?
Okay, so it depends on, you know, individuals. So some people want to feel young forever, you know. So if you want to feel young forever, then you dress for it, you know, as young as the season brings, you know, the styles. So there's what they call the trends as well. So it's the colors trend, I mean, the color season now when, for instance, because we're a menswear brand at Kijikpa Couture, I'd like to, you know, talk from that frame. You know, so you find out that a lot of men are getting more feminine, you know, in dressing. And then in terms of color and, of course, in terms of, you know, the put together of their pieces. You know what I mean? So for me, I would say that over time, people can express themselves the way they want to actually look. It's not about, you know, it's about individual. It's not about, you know, a set standard, as I would say.
Right. Still riding on this question would be the fact that what role does personality really play when it comes to fashion and trend?
Huge.
Because sometimes you hear, oh, because of my frame, because of what I believe in, I want to dress in a certain way. And some people will say, no, you can't fit in because it is not trendy. So my personality, what role does it play when it comes to being in tandem with fashion, as they say, and you just wanting to fit in?
Okay, so your personality as, like I said initially, a role model or a successful entrepreneur or a successful somebody within the space of your game or profession would actually influence a huge percentage in fashion acceptance wherever you find yourself in the world. So I like to say that there was a time that a Nigerian politician, you know, was honored with a global office, and then people started styling Ankara at about that time, you know, to celebrate her and then to begin to want to feel like her.
Right.
Even though you probably might not be as intelligent as she is, but because she has become a role model, you just want to look like, you know, the way she's looking. So for me, I'd say that your status, number one, and then your courage can create, you know, a spark within, you know, the style sense of a particular community or society. So, for instance, we've had presidents that dress in certain ways, and people wanted to, and it, you know, designers had to start creating pieces,
Along
you
that
know,
line.
along that line. So it's about the people, it's about how much they can influence, and it's about how much they can stick to their guns. So the world might think that this is a bit laid back or old-fashioned, but people, because of your personality, can accept it.
Right.
So we've had a billionaire that dresses in white, very simple white. And I've seen people that wants to look wealthy come to us in the atelier at Kijikpa and say that I want this so billionaire style.
Okay.
You know, as simple and
As
as
it is.
unstylish as it might look, you know, or unretro as it might look.
Okay.
Okay, so still in line with, you said something about people saying my style or my body frame or something. Now, there's the concept of body positivity these days. And then we have fashion stylists who will say there are different body types and you need to dress for your body types. How do we balance this in the space of body positivity, where it's believed that some people might not wear what suits them, but they say, that's what I want? I mean, what do you have to say about
Okay, so it has to come with your personality. We won't take that away. So if I'm a bit on the big side and I feel like I don't want body shaming and I'm going to kick against this, I can decide to start wearing the robust clothes and I'll feel stylish with it. And over time, because the human mind, you know, works and tunes into what to make it believe, you know, the people begin to think that, oh, so we've had people within the social terrain that are plummy, and then over time, people begin to accept them for who they are.
Right.
You know, so it has to do with, you know, your DNA, your personality, and what you're trying to project your identity and image to be like.
Okay, so quickly, so that what you're trying to say is, as you can get away with anything in fashion.
You can
as
get
long
away with
as
anything in fashion. And because the world fashion industry now is beginning to create a leveler space, you know, and then they're beginning to change the narratives, which I'm not particularly in some certain areas supportive of, but there's nothing I can do. That's where the world is flowing to right now. So it creates a very level platform for people to come out and express themselves. We've had people say they believe that they're this kind of body, and then they act like that kind of body, and then nobody's killing them.
Right.
You know, so I mean, style is just personal, and style is what you make your DNA of in terms of appearance and, you know, identity.
Okay. Let's go back to, again, some will say it is not how expensive a fabric is. It is how beautiful or how creative you can make something out of it. While some will say, no, it has to be very expensive, and for you, that shows the panache. That shows... and so if you were to sit side by side with somebody who's wearing something modest and someone who's wearing something very expensive, some will say, well, the creativity behind the styles will depend on whether or not you're actually wearing an expensive fabric. But where I'm going to with this is, how important really is it for people to work with their designers? Again, sometimes as an individual, you have a mindset of what it is you want to wear. And then you meet a creative, like someone like you, who will say, oh, why don't you let us style you? Why don't you let us do something that we feel may work for your body type or for the event you're attending? How can you then meet up at a midpoint where, as a client, I am happy, as a creative, you're happy, and we're both met at the middle to agree that, okay, a bit of what I believe in, a bit of what you believe in, and then we can come up to create a style.
Okay, so in style, I like to start with saying that less is more, all right? And then with luxury, I would say luxury is simplicity, all right? And if you look through, not only within the fashion global fashion space now, if you look into the global automobile space as well, you'll find out that the designs of cars churning out about now are getting more simpler,
Right.
more plain, but with more options and features,
Right.
you know, that suits today's tech world. So we're bringing it back into fashion. The simpler it is, the more quality and detail in production is what gives that panache, in your words. So we have classes of people. So it depends on who you are, like I said. So if you're on the high, you know, end or the top class range, then you understand this is quality and this is detail and this is just simple. And then it's a mind thing. You create yourself and style to fit into that, class in the society. And then if you're still struggling within the middle space, then you're looking for something that is affordable for your financial pocket, and then at the same time with, some kind of creativity and then elegance to create a balance within it. I don't think, the lower part cares about some of these things that we're discussing right now. So for me, I would say that as a professional, it has to be a little bit of your client's details and your client's choices blended into your own professional delivery of service. That is very extremely key. So I've had a client that we haven't even delivered to say that he loves skies, or is it sea blue and sunflower yellow. And I was like, can we do without this? And he's saying that this is what I want. So we minimized the golden yellow like on the screen, and then the sea blue with a spice of black, to bring it down. And it's looking so amazing.
Well, and has the client seen it?
He's loving it already.
Oh, okay.
He can't even wait to rock it. He's in the US.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's about style, like I said, is delivering to an individual what would enhance that individual's body, and of course the identity, and it's consistent as well. So there are two dimensions of style. So an individual. So we have a new generation church pastor that dresses old, and everybody